You are capable. You are deserving of the desires of your heart. You are. Today, I want to talk to you about the desires we have for our business, for our career, for our work, for our teams, and how those show up and how we take those things and make room for how the solutions show up, as opposed to being determined that we already know the solution. So over the Thanksgiving weekend, oh, and I forgot to say, happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a really great holiday. For those of you in the U.S. And around the world who celebrate, I hope it was peaceful and restful for you. So this idea of desire that I want you to think about today showed up because as I came back and spent the holiday kind of regrouping and cleaning, I told y'all I was going to clean. I spent about 6 hours in my kitchen. I was doing my walk every morning and I started listening to this book on Audible. And the book is talking about messages that we have and kind of our money stories and how we undo some of those stories we have about money and bringing things in and just all the things. And then she said, many times we will negate our desire or have feeling some type of way about the desires of our heart because we feel like we don't deserve them, that we don't deserve the desires of our heart. We don't deserve the things that we want. We don't deserve these things. And so we look at these desires and we think, that's not going to happen. That's never going to happen. It's not going to happen for me, or whatever the thing is. And then she said, but if you break down the word desire, day, meaning of or from, and sire, meaning father, so of the father. Blew my mind. Blew my mind. You know how you have those moments where you're like, well, dang, that was one for me. And her point was, look, whether you believe in God or the universe or whatever your thing is, these desires that we have, her point was, these desires that we have were given to us. They are within us and they were divinely given to us. So who are we to say that the desires of our heart are wrong? Who are we to say that what we want is wrong? Now, again, clearly there's a caveat, right? Wanting to harm people and all that kind of stuff. That wasn't what she was talking about. In this particular case, she was talking about things like wanting wealth, wanting money, those kind of things, and more being about what you do with that. And so my question to you after listening to that is, when you think about what you want, what the desire of your heart is, how are you open to, one, believing that you deserve that and then it's going to happen, calling it in, so to speak, but also being open to however the fulfillment of that desire shows up? So I'm going to give you an example. In this business that I started, have always had this kind of weird connection between the entrepreneurship side and the corporate side. Because I came out of corporate. I was there for 30 years. And I really left there, truly, one of the reasons I left there was because, and starting my own business was because I didn't want any other woman in that situation to feel like I felt. Not a single woman. If I could help that, that is a piece of my divine purpose, right? My deep desire is I don't want any other woman, in particular, any other Black woman to feel the way I felt in corporate America. And then I started working with entrepreneurs and I'm like, wow, my genius, that center of that target is working with these female founders who now have teams to help them move into the business and keep building the business that they want to build to make the impact they want to make. And I kept kind of struggling with connecting the entrepreneur piece with the corporate piece. And how do you do that? And what it's going to be, a confused mind never buy all the things, right, that the pundits tell you and that are true. So are you working with entrepreneurs or are you working with corporate people? Are you? Yes, both and. And so I've been struggling with this for a while and double down on my Founders Intensive, which is true. So I will tell you about that at the break. But what happened is last month, I think it was last month, my days are running together. Last month, I was afforded the opportunity to speak with these incredible women at Great Women, Great Wine. Incredible women. These women are decision makers, but beyond that, they are women who have a heart and a soul and a desire and a mind to do great things in this world, to make an impact, to build teams, to have organizations that do the right thing by people. I mean, these are just really incredible, heart-led, right? Mind-driven women. Like I said, lead with your heart, but act with your head. This is who this group of women are. There are about 30 of them there. And so I was able to speak with them when we had this really great session about the choices we make and our deeper whys about things. It was really great. And I got some phenomenal feedback from that session. And so as I was having this walk and thinking about desire and thinking about the business, because it's that time, right? Getting prepped for 2024. And I was looking at my strategy and looking at the numbers, and I'm finishing up this certification that I told you guys about for Hello 7 with Rachel Rogers to be a Hello 7 certified coach. So I'm doing those coaching hours. And then it hit me. You know, I have a desire to build a big business, multi-7-figure business. And not a multi-7-figure business because I want a multi-7-figure lifestyle. There are absolutely things I want. There are things I want to do to my house, things I want from my mom. You know, I want her to have everything her heart's desire, right? But I'm not looking at 14 houses and 35 cars. That's not me, right? I'm not looking at being a lavish lifestyle person. But I want to build this big business to make a big impact. That is the desire of my heart. And I also want to impact the clients that I have in a way that enables them to do the work that they desire to do, right? It's about serving them to get where they want. And as I'm doing this coaching with these clients for this certification, that is also giving me more and more evidence that this is where I am supposed to be, right? I'm going to give these testimonials so you can see them, that I'm not just blowing smoke. You know, I had one person tell me, oh my gosh, you are so gifted. This is exactly where you need to be. I had someone else say, these are the kind of questions that need to be asked. And you have a way of asking them that is not judgmental, but that really makes me think, you know, all the things. That's why I call myself the Chief Navigation Officer. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm helping you navigate to the destination you've chosen. And so as I'm thinking about the business and thinking about this great wine, great women, and thinking about the founders that I want to work and these amazing clients that I have who have built 15-year businesses, 10-year businesses. They have teams. They're thinking about building teams. These are incredible women. And thinking about how I want to serve them, I paused and I said, you know, there is a way to fulfill the desire of my heart, which is to build a business that makes an impact for women in both the corporate arena and founders moving to CEO. I want to do both because I am really, really good at both. It is dead center in my genius. And I love it. I don't want to be in anybody's corporation again. But if I can find a way to impact these leaders that are in corporations, and leaders being about behavior, not about position, right? If I can use my gifts and innate abilities that were given to me to impact these leaders, which therefore impacts culture, which therefore impacts the feeling and the experience of other women and other Black women in corporate America, then I have done what I have set out to do. I am fulfilling my purpose by doing that. So I started looking back again deeper at this desire, right? This thing that was put on my heart, divinely put on my heart. And I reached out. I went past my comfort zone, which you have to, right? I went past my comfort zone, reached out to someone and said, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Based on this experience, and you were there, you got to see it. Based on this experience, here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? So a desire of my heart that is tied to the impact that I want to make. It's not a new desire. It's all the same thing, right? But this is year 6 of the business. So it's almost like it took this long, going into year 7, it took this long, and 7's a magical number, to really solidify all of it, right? To make it gel, to make it make sense. And to not allow myself to say, oh my gosh, well, you just redid your website and you just took that stuff off your website. Now you're going to have to put the stuff back on. Stop. When you are really sitting strong in the desire of your heart, knowing that that desire, whatever it is, was given to you divinely, and that by leaning into that desire, by fulfilling that desire that is tied to your purpose, you are going to be able to make an impact on this world and fulfill your purpose by utilizing the gifts that are innately yours. It's a whole different ballgame. And so by sitting more strongly in, no, the desire that I have is still real. It is tied to the purpose and the impact I want to make. I was able to regroup and actually reframe something else that had already been on the docket. I had already talked about doing some group coaching programs. I was thinking entrepreneurs, but I was thinking about this group coaching program, already have the framework, already have kind of the structure, what it's going to look like. But when I had that experience and the evidence showed me, no, this is something that's needed. This is a solution you can provide in a way that is a safe environment that can support people and lift them up and push them forward. Because I was open to what it looked like being whatever it was meant to be, it all came full circle to say, yes, it is that group coaching thing. But this is the target, and this is how you're going to do it. And it's going to be local to Houston, and it's going to be small, 12 to 15 people. And it's not going to be just one time. It's going to be a 6-month or year program. And there's going to be an option for folks if they want to do a one-on-one once a month with you. It was a whole different feeling to be able to sit and know, one, I do deserve the desires of my heart. You deserve the desires of your heart. We don't have to earn the desires of our heart. They don't have to be painful. They don't have to be bought and paid for by something. You just have to believe in them, pressure test them, but believe in them enough that however you get to them is flexible. Because getting to them is where the joy is. Getting to them is where the impact is. Getting to them is where you get to show up as the incredible leader that you are, delivering your gifts through your purpose to other people. It's about service, because leadership is not about you, it's about other people. Service is not about you, it's about other people. And when you can be really clear about what it is you want, deep want, that big vision want, what you really want, then you also open yourself up to how it comes to you. As they say, and many people say, right? We have not because we ask not. What are you asking for? What are you asking the universe for? And then what are you doing to allow that to happen? Because faith without works is dead. I'm not saying you get to say, oh, this is what I want. I want 12 new cars. And then you go home and sit down and wait for them to show up. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about really sitting strongly in what is that thing you want really, really deeply. And why do you want it, right? You got to get real clear. And then because you're so clear on that, being open and willing to accept the solution to that desire in whatever manner it comes. Because that may show up as a new client. That may show up as a promotion. That may show up as someone you did work for years ago who says, you know what? I've been following you for a while and I see you're working at such and such a company. And I've now got this opportunity and I'd really like to talk to you about it if you're open. When you know very clearly the desire of your heart and why it's there, when you are really, really focused on that aligned piece of it, it is intrinsically aligned to how you want to show up and who you want to be. You open up the doors for all kinds of possibilities. but it requires you to be open. It requires you to release some control. It requires you to decide that I don't have all the answers right this minute. And there may be something that somebody says that is really the solution. In fact, I reached out to a second person to get some feedback. And one of the things I told her was, you know what? Thank you so much for the opportunity, because by giving me the opportunity and presenting that to me to be in front of these people, that opportunity itself actually connected some dots that have been disconnected for me for a while. They've I've seen the dots. They've been kind of coming together and then they get apart. They get kind of fuzzy, then they show up again. But this one opportunity, this one chance that I said yes to, because I almost didn't, right? That I said yes to, because the person who asked me, I truly believe in, that one opportunity that I was willing to just say yes to opened up so much, connected some dots that I wasn't able to connect myself, and helped me have conversations that I hadn't even been able to have. And so my question to you, as we go into a quick break, is, what is the real desire of your heart? Or two or three, right? What do you really want? Like deep, you want it so bad that when it gets hard, you still want it. What is that? And then what are the things that are happening around you, right? How can you sit so deep in that desire that you are so open to being aware of what's happening around you, the situations that come into your world, the people that come into your world, the opportunities that show up? What are the things that are happening around you that you can now be so much more aware of, that you're actually able to now connect your dots? You are able to stand in the purpose that you have. You're able to take the skills and aptitudes and capabilities that you have, either because they're innately yours or because you worked really hard to develop them. And you want to be able to utilize those to make a bigger impact that you know you can make. What are those things that are showing up for you that you can now jump in and take advantage of freely and fully, knowing that they are meant to be along the path to attaining the desires of your heart? So I want you to think, really think about what you want and why you want it. What is the bigger purpose for that? And then I want you to, for lack of a better word, let it go. Put it out there, speak it. Maybe you just speak it through journaling. Maybe you speak it through praying in color. I started my praying in color again. It really works for me. My messy brain, it really works for me. Maybe you've got a confidant that you can speak it out to. Maybe there are other places you want to just put it out in the world. But get real clear on that and put it out there in some kind of way and send it off with love and with grace and with belief. Start doing some work and allow the things that are supposed to come to you. Allow that to happen and see what shows up. You are capable. You are deserving of the desires of your heart. You are. And this is about getting out of your own way to allow them to show up the way you want them to show up. And believe me, this is a pot and kettle conversation. So I'm doing this same work along with you. I am doing the same work along with you. That's one of the reasons I'm able to relate to so many of you and so many of my clients. I'm doing the same work. So I have my coaches. I have my people that I sound off with that can punch holes in things or that can reframe things for me. But those people also really understand the deep desires of my heart and help me see the possibilities around attaining that. So I want you to think about that this week, right? What are the desires of my heart? How can I get those really clear? Release it, and then start doing the work. And be ready and willing for the amazing things to show up, and claim them. Claim them, lean into them, and just roll with the flow. Surrender to the flow, right? Be in flow. That's your homework for this week. You have been listening to the Rutledge Perspective Podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and for connecting. You can find previous episodes of the podcast on my website at laurelrutledge.com/podcast. You can also find me on social media at Laurel K. Rutledge and/or The Rutledge Perspective. And I'd love your perspective on the things we talk about. And if there's a specific topic you want me to cover, just let me know. And please share this podcast with someone in your village who may need this little piece of perspective today. And if you're so inclined, I would really appreciate a 5-star rating and review on the platform of your choice. Apple Podcasts and Spotify reviews are particularly helpful. Thank you again for listening. Take care.